Okay, welcome to the first session of Cambridge IGCSE course code 0500, and we are going to discuss the paper pattern in today's session. And this is basically the first language English. All right, so we have basically, two papers. The first one is going to be the reading paper, the paper one. I'm sure whatever I'm writing on the screen, it is quite clear to you.
Yes, it is.
All right, that's great. Paper one is going to be the reading paper, and then we have paper two, which is known as the writing paper. This is going to be the writing paper. And before the reading paper, we always get an insert like this. The insert like this, requires you to give a proper reading from it, right? So this is the last year, paper, question paper. The paper consists of altogether 2 hours, and you are requested not to write your answers on the insert, all right? So you can have a pencil in your hand and you can underline the important things, but you're not allowed to write on your insert. The insert basically consists of, different kinds of texts. We have text A, and we have to, answer the question number one from part A till E from this specific insert of text A, all right? Just question number one, part A and E will be from this text A. Then we have another text B, and there is a sectioning of each text from which we're going to read, and then we will be answering the questions. I'm going to show you the reading paper where, we'll be given the questions. Then we have text B, where we have to answer the question one, part F only, all right? You are going to give a reading to this whole text, and you'll be answering the question number one, part F only, all right? On the question paper. I'll be showing you the question paper after it. And then you have the text C. You have to give a reading to this whole text C. From this, you're going to, answer the question number 2, part A till D, and also the question number 3. So you can see that we have altogether like 3 questions. 1 to 3 questions, and these 3 questions are further divided into the parts. It means that this reading paper is going to be all together of 3 texts where we need to answer the questions, the short questions. Basically, those are the short questions. And let me just show you the question paper. All right, okay, till here, is it clear that how the insert is going to be?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
All right, that's great. So this is going to be the, question paper. I've actually explained you all the details about the time. The time is 2 hours, so we have to wisely divide the time. The instructions are quite clear to you written on the paper, and the total marks for this paper is going to be 80 marks paper. All right, so you're quite, familiar about it. The marks written here are 80 marks. So it's going to be divided into all these 3 texts. Let me show you the questions scrolling down to it. So the text was mountain, river, cave. That was text A. We got all the questions from the text A, from that specific, text. We are going to answer the question. So you can see the text name is mountain, river, cave. We will be answering the questions from that mountain, river, cave, and those will be only, from A till E part, all right? So basically, the purpose of explaining you this thing is that you are not going to deviate yourself from that specific text, and the questions are basically of, very minimum marks, 1, 2 of each question. So here, they want you to extract the information from the text, and using your own words, you are going to, write the answer. All right, now how are you going to write and formulate your answer? They have given you the line numbers as well. All right, Deborah, the numbers in front of the lines are mentioned. So it means that you need to answer from that specific line. Like here, they have, asked you the question using your own words. Explain what the text means by located in the heart. So located in the heart is mentioned in line number 3, basically. So we are going to definitely, refer to this line number 3, and we will be finding the answer from this line number 3. The meaning of this line number 3, they are asking us the question, located in the heart, line number 3. Can you just tell me?
It tells us that Vietnam is home to the world's largest mountain river cave.
Exactly. So you're going to formulate this in your own word, in your own words, and it is going to be that yes, Vietnam is the world's largest cave. That's why it is called as the heart of Phong Nha Ke Bang National Park. Okay, so that's why it is called as the uh, that's why they have called that it is located in the heart. Are quite easily taken out and extracted from the text because they are quite easily mentioned there, and you are going to formulate them in your own words. The question is basically of 2 marks, so you are not going to exceed the limit, and you're not going to exceed the limit from these 2 lines as well. They have given the line numbers in front of it. So telling you this thing is that if you're going to practice this as much as possible, you will be able to answer the questions quite easily, and you'll be extracting it from the text specifically, that specific answer. Okay, so somewhere they have given to give 2 reasons, to give 2 suggestions, to identify 2 reasons. So we have to pick up the specific 2 reasons from those specific paragraphs. All right, this is all. If you're going to practice, you are going to definitely do this part easily. And then comes from the text B, then again they have given you text B. Read text B, visiting a cave in the insert, and then answer question number 1, part F on this question paper. Okay, so basically this is going to be like a summary writing, a continuous writing. It's like a summary writing. How we need to write a summary? Any idea, Deborah?
Basically, I've heard you should highlight the main points from the text and then mold it into your own words.
Yes, basically you have to highlight the main points from the text, and highlighting the main points from the text is that after highlighting, you need to, use your own words as far as possible, because you're not going to write it into the note form, not writing into the list form. It's going to be in the paragraph form, and you have to skim. Actually, you have to skim. You have to, scrutinize. After scrutinizing, after reading the text properly, you are going to skim. Also, you can take the reference from the text, like pick few of the lines from the text, but avoid copying the long sections of the text. This is something very important, that you have to avoid copying the long sections of the text. Why? Because that shows the examiner that you are not aware of creating the summary in your own words. If they are saying that it should not be more than 120 words, then it should not be more than that, because 10 marks are available for the content of your answer and 5 for the quality of your writing. So this whole text B is just demanding you to write a summary writing of 15 marks. So the content which you are writing from the summary, it should be, to the point, because they are asking you, according to text B, what could make visiting a cave dangerous? So we are going to, understanding the question first. We will be then underlining the lines, and then we are going to pick up those lines and start writing in our own words. All right. And then the quality should be, what comes in the quality basically? Why are they saying the quality of your writing? What is the quality of writing basically?
The grammar, your
Okay.
spelling.
Okay, so in short, yes, this is also one of those SPAG, the spelling, punctuation, and grammar. That's perfect. But if you are embedding the, advanced level vocabulary, that is also going to be an, upgraded level of summary, because then you'll be easily going to achieve 14, or maybe you can also achieve 15 marks full, but the highest, of course, the score is 14, so you can achieve it if the vocabulary is updated one, right? We are not going to use those bogus and small basic words, for example, good, bad, you know thick, thin, small. No. If we are using this word bad, we will be using atrocious instead. All right, atrocious instead. If we are using this word, if we need to, use this word good instead, we're going to use the exemplary or any synonym of that specific word. So we have to, cut these words out from our vocabulary and use the advanced level words. All right. I'm sure it's clear till now. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's move on to the next part, which is going to be, of course, the C, text C, and it is also the same. But here they have extracted the few lines from the text, and you have to, basically identify a word or a phrase from the text which should suggest the same idea as the words underlined. So here they have, given the idea the ivy completely covered the rock face. So what is the meaning of completely covered? We are going to refer to the text and then we're going to explain it in our own words. That's it. It's a way too easy and simple. Only the underlined words, not the rest of the whole text. But also we can, give the reference from the text, but just the underlined words we're going to explain in our own words. All right. This whole part is equally the same, and then using our own words we are going to guess the meanings of the words from these are actually the contextual meanings we're going to tell, because here what the writer means by this, so we will be telling the contextual meanings. So it's going to be based, this B part is the contextual meanings altogether. And then comes the C part. Here you are going to use the one example from the text below to explain how the writer suggests Rohan's feelings when he first became interested. So this is a whole paragraph, all right? We are going to pick just one example. One example means just one, sentence from it. And we will be explaining that in our own words because it contains only 3 marks. All right, let's suppose we are, reading this paragraph. He looked at what was left of the rock face. So we are going to, just pick up this one example. We will be writing here example. He looked at what was left of the rock face, and then we're going to give the heading of explanation, and the explanation should be, accurately according to the, well, let's just refer to the insert and see it from the text C. We'll be first giving a reading to this, and we are going to just find out where this specific line is extracted from, and then we are going to, read out and give the reference of it. Okay. So here, we are, getting the reference of the rock face from here. We will be giving the reading to this one, where it's like, Rohan was tugging at the thick green ivy plant, smothering the 3-meter rock face at the bottom of the garden. So what are you going to, explain this thing? How are you going to explain this thing now? Tell me. Get any idea, any gist about how are we going to explain this thing? What is the meaning of rock face here?
Rock face, I think it means, I'm not sure really.
Basically, a cliff. Basically, a cliff, a steep and often sheer rock face means a cliff, basically a bare vertical surface of natural rock. So we will be, writing that, you know, maybe, he was looking at the thick green ivy plant, smothering, killing the 3-meter rock face at the bottom of the garden. He was, fidgeting with something at that time. So rock faces, he was actually, hitting something on the, you can say a piece of rock, placed over there. So this is what actually, we will be explaining about Rohan here, that he looked at what was left of the rock face. It means that he was fidgeting with the piece of rock by seeing that what was left of the rock face, or what was left there. All right, because maybe he was working at the plantation and vegetation at that time, because he was tugging at the thick green ivy plant. We're going to refer to the background knowledge as well, and we just have to explain it in our own words easily, right? Got it? And if you see that if you are not getting the exact information in this, example, you can pick up any other example. For example, Rohan dropped his eyes to break the gaze and received an immense surprise. So dropping his eyes doesn't mean exactly, that he dropped his own eyes to break the gaze. It means that he has put extreme effort into it. All right. So dropping the eyes, basically is an idiom, I must say, which actually means to look down. When somebody is gets angry on you and you look down upon it. So you can explain this line as well. You can pick any one example from this paragraph and you're going to explain it. Is it understandable now?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay, fine. And then moving on to the D part, we have to reread the paragraphs 5 and 10, and we are going to choose three examples of, words or phrases from each paragraph, the one which we have done previously, and then we are going to explain it. Here they have also, picked up these examples from paragraph 5. She picked up this, the examiner picked up this example. We're going to explain that. Paragraph 10, this one example he quoted, we're going to, explain that. And the third one, we're going to, quote, and then we're going to write that and explain it in our own words. And here the game is actually, a bit upgraded one because we have to follow the word limit. It's 200 to 300 words, and we have to follow the word limit. And here we will be awarded with 15 marks, which is only available for the content of your answer. The content should be accurately, written. It should be written in the coherence as well. We should not deviate ourselves from the specific paragraph which are mentioned. All right. And we have to give three examples of the words or phrases from each paragraph. And every time when we are explaining, we have to give, three examples as well, all together. Like, for example, one example from each paragraph, from the fifth paragraph, one example from the 10th paragraph, and one from the 15th one. Got my point? So here we are going to, they're actually explaining us that your choices should include the use of imagery. Creating the imagery means we have to use the grammatical forms. For example, if we are using the figures of speech, simile, the similes are used in the language. If the metaphor is used in the language, we need to quote that. If the, semantics is, actually used here, we're going to quote it in our examples, because it's going to be 200 to 300 words and it's not an easy task. It's all about, practicing. You need to, practice on it, and then you'll get on the right track. All right, then comes, the text to see the lost cave in the insert, and then answer question number 3 on this question paper. So here you are going to, get a text like this. Okay, you are Shaima. A year after Rohan discovered the cave in Yagan, there is going to be an extracted written piece from the text, and the interviewer asked the following 3 questions only. So you are going to, answer these 3 questions and base your interview on what you have read in text C. You have to write it in your own words. Address each of the 3 bullet points. This is something very important. Here we get the bullet points like we used to get in the writing paper. All right. The bullet points are here. Basically the instructional points which we need to follow, and basically we need to, start answering each of the question. Got my point? And it should be, in 250 to 350 words. Again, the 15 marks are for the content of your answer and 10 for the quality. So it's going to be 25 marks altogether. Okay. How are you going to answer your questions? First bullet point, can you outline what Rohan was doing at first in the garden, how he discovered the cave? So here in the first bullet point, we are having, 2 questions altogether. So after answering these 2 questions, we will be moving towards the next bullet point. All right. Okay, up till now, there's any difficulty, in understanding the text, the questions, because each question has another, different story. Got
Yes,
it?
I understand them. It's just the answering that's difficult.
Exactly. Answering is
Yeah, because
difficult, but it's way too easy,
yeah.
because if I'll be writing, the answers for you, I'm going to tell you how to structure the answers. It will be very, very easy for you to understand, because it's only to extract the answers from the text in your own words. You have to be smart and tricky. You have to be smart and tricky enough to, extract the answers and just, transform them in your own words. That's it. Okay, so this is paper 2, which is the writing paper. And paper 2 is also of, 2 hours. And here you must answer from the question paper. You will need, insert, enclose, answer 2 questions in total. We have altogether, 2 sections here. Again, the paper is of 80 marks. You're quite familiar. And 2 questions in total means section A, answer question number 1, and section B, answer 1 question. In B, probably you'll be getting the choice, but in section A, it's compulsory to answer the question. So it's directed writing. You can get any strand of directed writing here, whether it's a speech, whether it's a magazine, whether it's an article, whether it's, any other letter writing or any other strand. So we need to practice those as well, all right? Whether it's, you can say review of any text, review a leaflet, any advert, any, article. So it's every time it's, different. So they used to give us the, a question, and then they give us the bullet points once again. So now we have, altogether 2 bullet points here, which we need to address properly. And keeping in mind those bullet points, we are going to structure the answers according to the word limit, 50 to 350 words, all right? So base your speech on what we have read in both texts, but be careful, be careful to use your own words. It's going to be like a comparison, all right? Evaluate the ideas, attitudes, and opinions about buildings given in both texts. Okay, you have to evaluate the ideas. What is the idea? What is the attitude, the tone, the register? And then you have to give your own opinion as well. All right, so there's going to be an insert of text A and B, and you're going to read it, and then you are going to, read it and compare, and then you're going to evaluate those both texts. Got my point? And this paper first, question is going to be 25 marks. And then comes your, section B, probably, which is basically a composition writing. And here we have to answer 1 question. This is the most, I must say, the easiest part for me. I basically, recommend my students to attempt the piece of writing which you are good at, because it's actually, 16 marks are available for the content and structure of answer, up to 24 marks for the style and accuracy. So if you feel, you have to reach the word limit 350 to 450 words. If you feel like you have ample, adjectives in your list, if you have already, made your vocabulary journal and you are using that upgraded vocabulary in your piece of writing, then go with this
What's a
descriptive writing.
vocabulary journal?
Vocabulary journal is basically, for example, if I'll be, teaching you from the very beginning, I'll be, giving you the vocabulary. If I'll be sharing this word, good vocabulary, so you are going to jot down those words. For example, if I'll be giving you like words instead of good, exemplary. If I'll be giving you a word, you can say awesome. If I'll be giving you to fit, instead of this word good, cross out this word good from your life, and add up these new words. And if you're going to put these new words in your piece of writing, you can definitely ace in your exams. It's not difficult to ace in your if you're going to use the upgraded vocabulary. Same is the case with any
So
word.
are you going to help me because I don't have very much good vocabulary. Are you
Don't
going
worry,
to help
don't worry.
me?
I can definitely help you out. I'll be sharing my YouTube channel's link with you. I have shared some of the videos for the vocabulary, descriptive writing, describing the place, all about, making your written expression better. And written expression only gets better when you are, improving all these areas. All right. And then comes the narrative. If you feel like you are a good story writer, you can definitely, write this narrative writing. You have to pick this. But you have, ample choice here. You have 4 questions altogether. You have to just attempt 1 from this. Got it? So in this part, it's a bit, easy part, just because, we have to pick up that specific thing where we are good at. All right. that you got, a clear understanding of how to, the understanding of basically the paper pattern, how to answer each question. And it's all about practice, because the exams are in November, October, then we have to practice every single day and every
Okay, thank you. And